So traceability requirements normally originate from the fact that company must have compliance to either government regulations about traceability of fresh produce or any other types of food produce, or to the requirements of retailers. The retail audit would like to have a full audit trail of the origins of food that is being supplied by fresh produce companies. In AX, three concepts that I would like to define enable this feature. The first essentially is stock transaction, which represents all movements of stock throughout the enterprise, throughout the company. Second is batch attribute, where batch is the attribute of the stock transaction. And the third one is quality order. Quality order is used to conduct testing, either the field tests or laboratory tests, to capture results and assign results to attributes of specific batch. Therefore, having traceability, trace from outbound transactions to inbound transactions, user can have full story of the life cycle of the product throughout the enterprise, and have view on specific values of quality tests that were captured along this life cycle. All right, so let's look at the batch attributes. Batch attributes are configurable within the system implementation. It's very flexible list. We can define here anything we want. For instance, in this sample, I have sugar, weight, size, and other attributes for different type of stock. Richard, could you please show the slide deck?
Sure, I'll take the slide back.
To the batch attribute, please. Yes. Batch attributes, next one, please. Batch attributes could be applied to configure for the product, or they can be customer specific. For instance, if throughout this demo I will use onions, like sample produce and batch attributes and characteristics specific to onions. For instance, if lacrimatory factor will be specific to all onions we have in stock and we produce, some customers may require, in addition to this, to have a photo of it. Therefore, for specific customer, the set of list of batch attributes available may be different. Next one, please. The values are captured. The values of batch attributes are captured by test groups, by quality orders. To define the structure of quality orders, user uses test groups. You may think of the test group as of the template of the quality order. Template may contain multiple test types. System support pretty simple case when the test type is numeric value. So the value captured in this test type will be just a number. LINKFRESH extends standard AX with more complex scenarios like having conditional tests that define what tests will be available in a specific quality order, like composite tests when external equipment, external device will be used to read the value, and the value will be supplied in AX as the string of multiple values. So conditional test will split these values and map them to other tests, to the results of other tests. Richard, could you please give me control?
Sure. That's good. So what we're going to do is actually flick in and show you some of the detail that's actually running.
Thank you. I'll show an example of the test for the onion, which is pretty much standard in this industry standard test. So here I have a purgency, lacrimatory factors, and thiasulfonate test results, which are mapped to the batch attributes, respective batch attributes defined for this produce type. There is an option test if the quality manager on the shop floor decides that the value of purgency is not enough to define to decide what the sweetness of the produce is. He may decide on fly to turn on sweetness test, additional sweetness test. Therefore, all these test types will appear on the quality order and may be conducted, like bricks, like composite test for sugars. It is figured like list of which tests must be populated from the string received from chromatograph, how its string will be split down and written in the results of other test results of sucrose, glucose, and fructose. And there may be a calculation function for the sweetness factor that will take values of the sugars, will put them in the formula standard for calculation of sweetness factor, and receive the value in this text, in this test result. So the formulas may be pretty much complex, satisfying all generic requirements for this type of formulas. Another feature added by LINKFRESH is possibility to take multiple results. For instance, for bricks, we're defining that minimum number of results that must be taken in the system is 3, because that is defined by methodology. Yeah, and the result will be calculated as an average of all these 3 readings. It can be minimum and maximum as well. Other test types supported by the system are date and string, and LINKFRESH also adds here support of photo capturing on the mobile device, capturing of signatures, and capturing of geocode of GPS coordinates. Richard will cover this part in more detail. Okay, so this is what the test group bit. Now I'm switching to the next part of it, how test quality orders are generated. Obviously, they can be generated manually by decision of quality manager on the shop floor or in lab. But also systems provides facility to generate quality orders automatically based on triggers, event triggers. These triggers are configurable and very flexible, a big extension to standard AX that is part of LINKFRESH solution is trigger based on works. That's the part of new AX warehousing module, relatively new warehousing module, and this functionality enables automatic generation of quality orders in virtually any part of the system, starting from the start of life cycle of the stock in the warehouse. It works like this. For instance, in this specific sample, at the right side of the form, I have a definition of event that will lead to generation of quality order. It is said that on the side south, for the item pepper finished good, in the warehouse master, if there will be a work related to production order with the type put, it means that the pallet containing produce will be placed somewhere in some location in the warehouse. After this will happen, system will automatically generate quality order for the quantity that is defined for the 10% of the quantity on that pallet with the test group and T001. And we can have any configuration of filters for this event. For instance, we may say that this quality test will be executed only for certain size of produce, for produce with a certain grade, for any other combination of LINKFRESH dimensions. When this produce will be just about to be shipped to a specific retailer under a specific brand. Yeah, so we can configure anything, any combination of this filters we need. The sampling is also flexible configuration that allows us to say how much we will, how much of the produce we will take for testing. We can take one piece. We can take specific percentage of the stock. We can say that we will take only one piece from whole batch or from every pallet that is within specific batch. When quality order is generated, stock is obviously blocked. First, it is reserved. No other warehouse operations may be done on the stock until quality order is quality test is finished. If the outcome of the test is success, test passes, then we can proceed with warehouse operations on the stock. But if it will fail, we may define the rules that will be applied to the stock. First option is to apply batch disposition to the batch, which will prevent certain operations being conducted on the batch. We can apply batch disposition to license plate, or we can even change stock status if we want. If we configured test group this way, that will change stock status to blocked, from available to blocked, therefore making stock impossible to move. Yeah, so that's brief overview of the life cycle of quality order. And everything we can do in AX, we can do in mobile client, and Richard will cover this part of the demo.
Okay, thanks, Kirill. I mean, there's an awful lot there. I mean, we're blasting through this. We normally do this over a kind of 3 or 4 hour period, so you're getting the express version of this. What it means, though, is hopefully that Kirill has alluded to show you that it is the quality and technical manager that's in charge of setting this up. You know, it's not something that we do as a programming exercise. And once somebody gets used to it, it's very quick to actually make changes, to water tolerances, to change the templates, and be reactive. I mean, we're having customers with farm operations who will get a phone call from the supermarket they're supplying, and they'll say, look, we're getting sun damaged or rain damage, whatever it may be. Can you get your technical team testing for it? With a couple of changes in LINKFRESH, all the technical staff are then prompted for asking that question. So moving on, a large aspect, I mean, if you come and see a LINKFRESH system, 75% of the staff using LINKFRESH are mobile users. You know, they're guys who are literally out in the field doing this day in, day out. And so what we want is a nice, convenient way of actually providing this information to them. So for that, we've built, on top of Microsoft technology, an end-to-end mobile experience for QC using tablets. So we've got it deployed onto ruggedized tablets, iPads, Windows devices, you name it. As long as it's got a modern web browser, it'll run the QC functions for us. And it's very straightforward. You know, you saw the screens that Kirill was using to configure QC. Once configured, it's very simple, very simplified, pared down screens. We should say that all the security is common between AX and the mobile client. So, you know, what's quite nice is a user can interchangeably work within AX and then go onto the tablet, and all the same permissioning is done once, but then available in multiple places. And that helps for things like, you know, if you've got a guy who's traveling between locations or takes on someone's job role when their colleagues on vacation, we can do that all within AX, and we haven't got to change anything out on the client. So it's nice and simple. It's also pretty friendly. You know, we're using a device commonly with a touch screen, so all the buttons can be used with a sort of thumb size input. You know, there's no typing war and peace. It's all very, very easy to use. And it flows very nicely. You know, there's no software install. It's all deployed via the browser. It works very quickly, and it's ideal for somebody who just needs to very quickly come on and record some quality information. The screens themselves, if we go in and look at this is our particular onion LINKFRESH and sweetness tests that we're recording. So some of the things that you saw Kirill setting up, that's what it actually looks like on the screen. It's not thousands of columns. It's designed to be nice and simple and readable, and again, just operable with a gloved hand. If we go into some of the specifics of the tests, so I'm actually going into the test now. Obviously, you're not just restricted to one thing. So you might be doing an onion intake test, but also a packaging positive release check, or a vehicle startup check, or a shutdown of a machine check. You know, QC, as we alluded to at the start, you know, fits into lots of different aspects of the LINKFRESH system. So if I pick one of these tests, you know, very simply, we can go ahead and record a value for our particular result, save it and continue. If I'm using something that's like a yes/no test, I'll see a yes/no on screen. You know, I won't be expected to remember codes or values. It's very intuitive. As we go through, what it's doing, it is actually scoring the QC tests as I complete them. So it's obeying, you know, what's in tolerance, what's out of tolerance, whether I should include it, whether there's conditional logic. That's happening. It's all happening behind the scenes. And so, you know, it's that heavy lifting that LINKFRESH AX is doing in the background that's making this possible. So it's all real time, absolutely immediate. If there was a problem, you know, this can be put on QC hold immediately. That prevents any of the warehouse operations from moving any stock or dispatching any stock. It's absolutely instantaneous throughout the whole of the LINKFRESH system. For things like bricks, this is a good example of one of those composite tests. A bricks sweetness machine measures different levels of sugar, and in this case we're getting three different readings, so we're actually dealing with multiple samples for a particular onion in this case. And what it'll do, using a set of consolidation routines, will actually roll that together into one value, and we can flex that for whether we want to do an average or a min max or some more complex calculation. So again, very, very simple end user experience, very, very powerful using that whole rules engine that you saw Kirill setting up. And as you see, it's building up our whole sheet with the RAG status showing green as we go. When the data arrives back in AX, which is instantaneous, you get it in its original rich format. So I've had a question where I've captured a signature. So that could be a proof of dispatch or a proof of delivery, or purely somebody just signing for a package. QC can be used for that. You're getting the rich media as well. So in this case, it's a signature, but I can also attach an unlimited number of photos on there as well, which is fantastic. If you're making your liquidation, or grower A sends you class A produce, and you open it and find it's class B. For making a liquidation or making an immediate quality return, you've got all the information in one place. You've got the driver signature who dropped off the produce. You've got the photographic evidence. You've got the handling, and when we show you in a second some of the traceability that follows as well. So it's not just restricted to static textual data, it's rich as well. We haven't got an example to show you on screen here today, but we can also record as one of our special test types a longitude and latitude. So if you've got somebody who's doing field walks, or even something simple like walking around a market, you can actually record location of the particular where the particular quality check took place, which is invaluable if you're working out in the fields or with growing organizations. So we're now going to go on to look at traceability. And we're going to flick back and actually show you how traceability works inside AX. So back over to Kirill.
Thank you, Richard. I will just say a couple of words about QC and how the outcome of quality order fits in the batch attributes and how it will be used in traceability. So after quality order is validated, values are stored in the batch. For example, I can pick into the attributes of specific batch. I can go and find my onion. And look at the batch attributes for it, which were recorded from quality order. I have the quality order reference on the batch number and the values recorded from it. Therefore, when I will need to trace from any point of life cycle of the stock within my organization, I can always, knowing batch, find what were the values of these attributes for this batch. So that takes us to the traceability. Standard functionality of AX of its inventory management module is the item tracing screen, item tracing query. That gives us an example of the most extensive traceability case, and there are some other functions that I will refer to a bit later that provide more brief traceability outlook. In this particular case, I have asked to trace back onion that relates to the batch that I'm interested in. Once the query is executed, the system shows me the tree of transactions that were happening with this batch along its life cycle. I can see that it's all started with purchase order with a specific number. I can double click on this line and have this purchase order opened. Therefore, I can see all attributes of it. Then there are several warehouse operations were executed on the stock while being on the quality order was in quarantine, and after that it appeared available in stock once again, available for further operations. This screen gives insight on what quality orders were opened on specific stages of the life cycle, what production orders were executed on the stock, what are the batch attributes, what are their values, what is batch disposition, whether it is available or not for further operations, and other important data that reflect as its current state as well the past of this batch. Another entry point for the traceability queries is the document itself. For example, if I would have a sales order under which I would be going to sell a specific quantity of onions, I can look at the underlying. So that's the sales order. I see that I'm going to sell 100 tons of onions. I can look at the transactions, and for each transaction I can say that I want to see the trace of it. Therefore, system will show me the source of the stock in this transaction, where it's coming from. If I would have batch specified, I would see the whole trace of that batch lifecycle in this tree. So the trace back or trace forward can start from specific document in the system, either from sales order, purchase order, warehouse journal, and so on. A couple more things on batch attributes, how they can be used. In the same sales order, batch attributes can be used for example, for reservation of the stock. Sales manager can say that, okay, I know that this customer wanted onions with specific sweetness factor. Therefore, I'm going to reserve the stock according to that known value. So manager can open batch reservation function, enter batch attribute search value for the sweetness factor, say that minimum must be 1, maximum must be 5, and apply this attribute search template. Having on-hand stock filtered out according to the batch attribute criteria and making the reservation against the sales order. Two other areas where batch attributes are used, except traceability and batch reservation, are product picking, product picking and price agreements. So we can filter raw material based on batch attributes when we pick stock in production, packing, or in grading, or any other types of production. And we can define price agreements with the specified batch attributes on it. So price of the produce that will be used in sales orders may be dependent on value of batch attributes. Alternative functionality for traceability in AX that comes with LINKFRESH solution is consignment stock transaction. Consignment is another big piece of functionality that's coming with LINKFRESH. I won't cover it in any details within this demo, but I will show example of backtrace of stock transactions. So consignment shows all stock operations that occur on the stock are initially purchased or received from the grower or owner of the produce along all the life cycle of this produce within the organization. By looking at stock transactions, we can identify that stock was initially received. In this case, it was received as a third-party receipt. We see that there were some transfers of it. There was some movement transactions of it on it, and 2 stock adjustments. So that's the full story of stock life cycle we can see. And yeah, it is available for any consignment we have in the system. Okay, this is it.
Thanks, Kirill. That's really good. So I hope you can see that it's extremely comprehensive what we have inside LINKFRESH, and traceability does sit within every aspect of what we do, coupled with the QC function.